Hey gamers, welcome back to another video. Now before we begin, if you guys enjoy the video, make sure to hit that like and the subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. Thank you guys so much for the support. Also check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jerdo, where I stream Azur Lane 3 times a week. And follow me on Twitter at JerdoAL, where I post Azur Lane and other gacha game tidbits and information about my stream as well. So please check me out there. So thank you guys so much for the support. Let's get into this one. Today we're going to be talking about the new update to Azur Lane. Azur Lane introduced today melee weapons for all the ships. Interestingly enough, there's also a couple that are ship specific. We'll be going through those in just a minute. So with the melee weapons comes a bunch of more systems and resources to keep track of. We got a new daily mission. We got a bunch of rocks in our inventory now. I'm going to be talking about what those are exactly, how they work, how you use them. And at the end, I'm just going to talk about my thoughts about the system as a whole, whether it was a good addition, and what I think about it. So let's get into it. So if you go to your depot, if you go to gear and you go to special on the side, you will notice that you'll have some of these already in your inventory. Now, we did get a bunch of resources and new melee weapons from the missions on the side here that I've already finished, but if you haven't finished them yet, they will be here on the side. It'll be cognitive something missions. They'll give you a bunch of this gear and a bunch of the resources that we'll talk about in a second. So if you go to craft and you go to special, it'll show you everything that you can craft. And if you go to gear and you go to special, it'll show you what you've already crafted, similar to regular gear. So if I hit the equipped on button here, you'll see that I've already created and leveled up a few of them. So what are these? So these are essentially a brand new weapon that you can equip to any ship in the game, and it'll give you some stats, and it'll also give you some small boosts as well, so sometimes situational boosts as well. So every single ship now has this empty slot on the side here called for an augment module, which is what the melee weapons are. They're called augment modules. You can put up any augment module in here that you're allowed to. So here in this case, this is what I have in my depot, and this is what I'm able to craft. Okay, so these are the ones, these are the weapons that go into heavy and large cruisers. So each weapon can only be equipped to a specific hull type for that weapon. Okay, so if I go back to my depot here, and we can and I'll show you all of these. So we have kunais and daggers. Those are for submarines and submarines only. Scepters and hunting bows are only for carriers and light carriers. If you don't know, you just click on it and it'll tell you here, equipable by light carrier and carrier. We have bow guns and officer swords, which I don't have one here. I have a bow gun though. Those are for battleships and battle cruisers and aviation battleships. Lance and great swords, as we just saw, are for heavy cruisers and large cruisers, as well as for munition ships such as Casino. Crossbow and sword, these are for your light cruisers and repair ships. And then lastly, hammers and dual swords are for your destroyers. Every single one of these has a range for bonuses. So if we go to the craft section and I go to special, let's say I want to make a purple kunai. It'll say it gives you 24 torp plus 0 to 5, and then 3 hit plus 0 to 3. So this means that when I craft this kunai, it'll have 24 guaranteed torp, it'll have 3 guaranteed hit, plus anywhere from 0 to 3 hit and 0 to 5 additional torp. So there's a bit of an RNG aspect when you craft things. All right, so let's try and craft something to show you guys how it works. So let's start with dual swords. I'm just going to create a dual sword. We're going to make a purple one for our destroyers. So we need 4 augment module cores, which we have 30 of, so we're good. I'm going to hit auto select, and then you'll see that the slash attack here is now yellow, which means that it'll be active when I craft this. So I'm going to hit craft button here, and we have obtained the augment module. Now remember, the augment module that I just created, the dual sword, can have anywhere between 14 plus 0 to 5 firepower and 7 plus 0 to 3 evasion. Okay, so if we go take a look now, if we go to gear and we go to special, there's my dual sword that I just made. Let's take a look at what it has. It has 20 plus 3 and 12 plus 2. So that means that I didn't hit the max amount that I can. Now, thankfully, you can re-roll those random stats at the end. If we're going to hit convert now, and if we hit convert, it'll tell you here the range that you can hit of each stat, right? The minimum for firepower is 3 and the maximum is 5. For evasion, it's 1 and the maximum is 3. We're at 3 and 2 right now. Using these stones called augment module conversion stones, I'm able to convert this and hopefully get a higher number. Now, right now, as of the recording date of this video, currently you either get the same or higher stats in every time you use one of these stones. You never go down in stats. So that takes away a little bit of the pain when it comes to re-rolling. It'll even ask you if you want to keep old and if you want to use the new one. If it always goes up, then it's kind of pointless to have this menu. But yeah, I'll use the new one because it's higher. And let's say I want to do it again. It kept it 4 for the firepower, but evasion went up to 3. So again, I'll hit the use new, and then we'll do it one more time and hopefully get. And now we're guaranteed to hit that 5 for firepower and 3 for evasion. And there you go. 5 and 3, like I said, is guaranteed to always go up at least for 1 stat. So we're good. And that's all you need, right? So now I've completely maxed this out. It's a 20 plus 5, which is the maximum that I can have for that random part. And evasion 12 plus 3, which is the highest I can have. So this is now officially a maxed out augment module that we just created here. So let's say I wanted to start with a blue one, a blue augment module. You are able to upgrade a blue augment module, get it to plus 10, and then from a plus 10 blue, upgrade it to a plus 0 purple, and then take the purple from plus 0 to plus 10. So you are able to do that and just increase the rarity up from purple to blue. Now, from blue to purple. However, you can't go from purple to gold. If you remember in the craft section, there's a few gold ones here. Now, Drew, what are those for? These gold ones are actually only available for specific ships. Now, there are currently 5 gold augment modules available to craft in the game right now as of release. The hydronophone is for I-58 and I-58 only. Now, the reason for that is because these modules also have a skill upgrade associated with them, and the skill of that specific ship gets an upgrade whenever she has this equipped. They cost 15 augment module cores, so they are much more expensive than purples, and significantly more EXP in order to max them out to plus 10. Again, you need to get them to plus 10 in order to get the skill upgrade to go yellow, which means that you'll be able to get it. And it also costs 21,000 gold, so it is not a small investment for these. So the hydronophone is only for I-58. No more tiers. This one is for Arizona. Arizona gets a buff in Eagle's Tears skill. This one here, as you may be able to guess, is for Prince Eugen. This is Prince Eugen's augment module. This is Belfast's augment module, and Belfast's only. Only the ship whose augment module this is able to equip the ship. I can't make this and like say, oh, but it's a lot of firepower and reload, I want to give this to another light cruiser. You can't. Unfortunately, you can only equip these on the ship that they are for. Only Belfast can equip this. Only Eugen can equip this. And the last one here is for Laffy. Laffy gets an upgrade on her War God of Solomon skill. And again, I've actually already built the Laffy and the Belfast ones. Now the next question becomes, all right, Jerdo, I understand how to make these, how to craft them, how to upgrade them, how to reroll them. Where do I get the resources for them? Like I said at the beginning, you will get a list of missions here that will give you a bunch of them off to start, as well as a new weekly raid now. So this weekly raid with Belfast here, module development, you can only do this twice per week. We'll give you some of these augment module cores, as well as some stones and conversion stones as well, in order to reroll, craft, and upgrade them. Make sure, though, that you don't use your resources early on willy-nilly. You get upfronted with a lot of resources. Take your time. Don't go too crazy into crafting and stuff, because we don't know if they're going to be introducing new gold augment modules for other ships in the near future. I'm sure they will. So it's nice to be able to keep some always on you, just in case they release an augment module for a ship that you really want. You'll be able to quickly craft it instead of having to wait a couple of weeks or however how long to do this. In addition to this daily raid, you can also get them from the cruise pass. The cruise pass, for some of you may have noticed, you get these rocks in your inventory. What are these for, Gerdo? You get some augment modules here as part of the cruise pass, so you're able to get more resources here in order to craft, upgrade, and make augment modules from the cruise pass. Finally, the augment module stones, the ones that are used in order to give EXP to the augment module, actually seem to drop from maps. They drop similarly to like the drop rate from cog chips in higher level worlds, 12, 13, 14. These stones seem to drop as well. So you can get some augment stones from that in order to increase the EXP and craftability for your augment modules. They're quite minimal upgrades, okay? They are quite small stats. Now, if we take a look, once again, go to gear, you go to special, I can show you guys all of the ones that are available right now. So for instance, the officer sword on purple, because purples are going to be what you're likely going to be equipping on your ships, gives you 20 hit and 20 evasion, right? Evasion not so good for battleships, but you know, the hit on battleships is good. And the module effects at every battle, when the ship fires her first volley, increases your main fleet's firepower by 20 for 10 seconds. So this is actually really good. Well, you know, 25 power is not going to make or break anything, but it's a bit of a nice buff. As well, we have great swords here. So this great sword, the ship in the frontmost position, performs a slash attack. Now, slash attacks are a special attack that your Vanguard will do. It goes off roughly once every 18-ish seconds, plus or minus a few seconds, and it's quite quick. So if you blink, you might miss it. It's a bit of a quick animation. So that's how these work. All of these have different skills. You can check them out on your own. So those are augment modules. We've covered how to craft them. We've covered how to upgrade them. We've covered how to reroll them. We've covered who gets them. Now, what are my thoughts, I guess, about the whole system? I think this is very similar to Meow Officers, a late game min-maxing content in order to, again, min-max your fleets for boss fights, etc. In terms of day-to-day content, you know, your dailies, your event farming, they're not really going to do that much. Maybe the slash attacks might help a little bit with clearing mobs a bit faster, maybe, but in terms of the actual stat bonuses and the skill effects, for instance, it's a small buff. It really is a very small buff. It's not insignificant. I wouldn't call it insignificant, but you don't really have to worry about like, oh, I gotta make sure I have my best in slot augment modules on all my fleets. There's no content in the game right now that requires these. Everybody was getting by completely fine before this was introduced 24 hours ago, and now it's fine. It's still fine. It's just a nice little boost. It's mostly beneficial for the 5 ships right now that got these SSR golden unique augment modules. I'm looking forward to seeing what other ships get these in the future. Eugen and Belfast were 2 ships that have hotly been talked about as potential candidates for a UR retrofit, and now they both got these augment modules that help them, give them like a pseudo fate sim. These augment modules for these specific ships are able to improve the skills and hopefully make these ships a bit more relevant. I've heard good things about Eugen's after testing, as well as Belfast, and I'm Laffy's as well seems to be quite good. So I'm really hoping that more ships get these. I'm hoping that we get these more often, new ones, than we get new retrofits, because there's a lot of ships in the game that are older that need a little bit of love, and I feel like augment modules is a good step in the right direction. You know, if we can't get them all retrofits, then at least let's get them some augment modules to help them out a little bit, make them a bit stronger, and push them back up to being relevant again, just so people are able to use those ships more efficiently. Let me know what you guys think of augment modules in the comment section down below. Do you think this was a good idea? I think it was a bad idea. Did you like it? Do you hate it? Let me know what you guys think. Thank you guys so much for watching. Once again, if you guys liked the video, make sure to hit that like button and a subscribe button. It helps out the channel a lot. Check me out on Twitch at twitch.tv/Jerdo, and follow me on Twitter at JerdoAL. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.